So you're looking for more home run games for your N64.
Is that even a question?
So today we've got another 4 big N64 games that we're going to go over. A little bit about the games as well as what you can expect to pay for them. So start us off.
Well, I was a little surprised that we haven't talked about some of these because we're going back to the N64, which is no problem. But we're going to start with The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Now that's a big one.
It's a big game.
It's kind of a special one for me because not unlike other people, I played Ocarina of Time to no end. Like,
Same.
Just like Donovan, like we both did, like most people we knew. Like all of my friends were playing it. Like I remember it being like a year, 2 years after the game came out, and I was still like coming back to this game. Like you'd rent a game, you'd play it, you'd come back to Ocarina. So, and then by about 2000, people were playing Majoras, like when Majoras came out. And Majora's Mask, and I wasn't like jealous, but I never got to play it, and my friends were playing it, and I had kind of moved on to other things, but it was always kind of something I was thinking about. It was always on my mind, right? So I never picked it up when it was new. I wasn't really old enough to have my own money, but my brothers weren't interested in either, so I kind of got overruled, right? So, and then the next generation came around, we were getting into that, and it never kind of happened. And then it was always on my radar when I got back into collecting, and I knew it would come along. I didn't go hunting for it, and I never emulated it. I never got to play it. I literally never got the opportunity to play this game.
Your blind play was as an adult.
Literally, I didn't look into speed runs or anything like that. I never got to go through it because I knew that I would enjoy it, and I really wanted to experience it. I knew a little bit about it, but I really, really, really wanted to go through this blind. And that text came through, and it was an image, and I knew when I got an image texted from this guy, it was usually games and pictures of like, do you want this? And I don't remember exactly what he said. It was something obscure or something kind of obscene that he said to me. And I'm like, it was a picture of Majora's Mask, Mario 64, and Mario Tennis, all in the N64, all in box.
Yeah, with the manuals complete.
Exactly. So it kind of didn't matter that, like, not sealed, of course, right? Because I was not going to open up a sealed game of that. It didn't matter what they cost because I got them, and immediately, like the following day, I put Majora's in and I started playing it, and I literally didn't play anything else. I didn't go back to my Xbox One or anything like that until I was done playing it. I went all the way through it, and I kind of thought I knew what to expect, but I didn't. Like, it was just, it blew me away. It was so good. Just with the time mechanics, and it's like taking Ocarina of Time, like something you know is familiar, but it's completely foreign at the same time. Like, it's an excellent adventure. It's Zelda, but it's like so different. It's almost like the black sheep of the Zelda formula. It has the dungeons.
That's a good way to say it, yeah.
It is, but like, I don't know, some people might say Skyward Sword is, but like, I really enjoyed it, and it cost me more than it's going to cost you because I got a boxed version. That wasn't my intention, but that's the way it came to me.
And I think something worth pointing out, just jumping back to, something that made it a little harder to get into being younger was it needed the expansion pack to be played too.
It needed the expansion pack, and I already had one in my N64 at this point, so that's not an issue. It also has different mechanics than the first one. Like, it has a time travel mechanic, not like the first one where you go from being a kid to an adult and that kind of thing. You only have 3 days of game time, and then you're sent back to the beginning. You play a song and you're sent back to the beginning, and you have to figure out what you need to do and how to make changes in the timeline while you're there without ruining anything. That's kind of the extent of what I'm willing to go into. Yeah. But I really enjoyed it, and it's kind of like you have to think differently about the game, and it was really, really good. But because it's so good, I bet you it ends up costing money, even in just cartridge form.
Yeah, you can expect to spend $100 on this one. It's a pretty expensive game, and even it has 2 different editions with it. Both of them are realistically going to cost you the same. There's one that's the holographic front and one that's not a holographic front.
And they're about the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can expect to spend about $100 for each of them.
So don't go in and try and find a used one, and when somebody says gold cartridge, Majora's Mask, they're all gold cartridge.
Yeah.
It's not like Ocarina where there was a gray and a gold one. So
that's right.
Don't worry about that, right? So So even after the long-winded one of me talking about that, I can actually say that it is worth $100. It's basically the same price. Well, no, I shouldn't say that, but like, it's awesome. It's worth it. If you liked Ocarina, you'll like this. But I have ranted enough about this game. I'm sure Donovan has another game for us to talk about.
Yeah, and the next one is going to be Mario Tennis.
I mean,
good multiplayer game. I mean, it's one game that I didn't play it much as a kid, but growing up, going to some friend's house, being like, oh yeah, let's play some Mario Tennis. And for it being a 4-player game that's about tennis with the Mario characters, you really can't go wrong. And at $40 to $45, it's a really fun game. Like picking your characters, being Yoshi if you like Yoshi like I do, or whoever, and just playing some tennis with your friends. It's an easy game to pick up, play a couple matches, or play for 2 hours, whatever you want to do, and put it down and walk away. And for me, that's one of the things I look for in a game, is a game that I can pick up as easily as I can put down.
Well, I actually played this one. This one was interesting because my first memory of this one was playing it in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Like, remember when they had those N64 controllers, like part of the, there was a 64 in there and you'd pay like on demand for it, right? And I remember playing Mario Tennis for it, and like, I actually really enjoyed it. I played it for like that whole, you have a few games to choose from, and I played it that whole hour that I bought.
Yeah.
And it was actually really, really good.
Yeah.
So
highly recommended, especially if you're looking for multiplayer games.
Yeah, it's a good one. And going on from there, this list is pretty good. Like, this is pretty good so far. I have Banjo Tooie.
Yeah.
We previously talked about Banjo Kazooie, and I think they're similar in price because they're both really, really good. Like, think of Banjo Tooie as like Banjo Kazooie, but more. Like, I know that's kind of a weird way of saying it, but like, there's different mechanics. There's more going on. The story is different in tone, but I think if you enjoyed Banjo Kazooie, you could enjoy this as well. Like, it's
completely agree with that.
Yeah, it's really good. I've since played it on. You can also get this on Rare Replay, like on Xbox and everything. It's really, really good. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It even has some first-person mechanics going on with it, like with what Rare, because it's developed by Rare, with what Rare actually did with like GoldenEye and stuff like that. It's different. It won't be more of the same for Banjo Kazooie, but it is. It's kind of like Majoras and Ocarina, same kind of thing going on, right? But I know this one's pricey.
Yeah, and it's not as bad, but it is $65. So.
That's not what I was expecting, actually.
Yeah, and like we said, it is worth every penny on that one. And to end off our list, we are going to go with Pokemon Snap.
Ooh.
Yeah, another game I'm surprised we haven't talked about.
No, it's weird. I feel like I have to go back and look because I feel like we have talked about this, but we haven't, I'm sure.
And you know, the thing about Pokemon Snap, I remember growing up being like, oh yeah, we're getting a Pokemon game for the N64, and it was Pokemon Snap. And everyone's like, oh, that's
You're a guy with a camera?
Yeah, that's not what I was expecting
National
after playing
Geographic
Pokemon
featuring
Blue.
Pokemon.
But you know what? When you get in the cart and a game as simple as just going through the levels and taking pictures of Pokemon, you're trying to get good grades on those Pokemon and unlocking different areas and different tools to get different shots. And the sceneries themselves, especially for the game, and considering the controller with the controls, it plays super well.
I got it for my birthday one year.
Yeah.
I remember that. I wish I had the box for that one.
Yeah, and it is.
But it does play really well.
It does.
I was actually surprised at how fluid because you remember when you hold Z, and it slows it down, like not slows it down, but like your stick, it gets more sensitive. I can't remember exactly how that worked, or if it even was Z.
Well, so there was the boost, there was the booster,
right,
and then to take a photo, you'd have to press Z, and it would put you in the camera mode.
Right, and it was okay. So, yeah, it was. Like, do you think how does it compare to, like, because there's a new one, right?
Yeah, and I played a lot of the new one because I like this one. So I don't want to take away from the new one because I really like the new one, and I could make a full video, and we probably will at some point on it.
Have to.
I think that if you like the new one, you will enjoy this one, or if you enjoyed Pokemon Snap for the N64 and you don't have it for the Switch yet, go get it.
That's a fair point.
And at $45 to $50, it is a good game.
Yeah, that's a really solid buy. I was actually surprised that it was that cheap.
Yeah.
I was just expecting because the Pokemon license was attached to it, it would just be more money, like everything on the console, like Stadium 2, Puzzle League, all those games. Like, it's just, you think it would be more money.
And it is a good game, priced very well. It's only one player, but you know what? As I talked about, kind of you can turn it on, get on that rail shooter kind of style with the camera, play a level or two and turn it off. It's very
Be completely satisfied.
yeah, it's a fun game for the pick up and put down.
And the memes.
Yeah. And just a little sidebar on that one. At Blockbuster, they also had a card you could purchase, and you could print off the photos you've taken from Pokemon Snap.
I completely forgot about that.
Very cool.
That's a little piece of trivia on that one. That was pretty good.
So that concludes our list today. If there's any games that you remember having or have a very cool story of how you picked it up and how much you paid for it, put it in the comments below. We want to hear about it. Maybe we'll make a video about it. Like and subscribe.